Oh, there we are. We're live. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Monday YouTube live stream, 6 p.m. Eastern time. Joined here by Nate. Nate's looking to beat me up, it looks like, with a bat, I guess.
That's
He's not
true.
excited.
I should be holding the Fernando Tatis bat in the other hand, 2 at a time.
That'd be funny. I'm looking to beat up the Bucks tonight if they don't shoot more than 15% from the three-point line.
You can't play worse. You literally can't play worse.
The thing is it feels like the Heat, the first game against the Heat, except the Heat were trash compared to the Nets. The Nets are not trash, so they beat us handily. But if we can just clean it up, maybe get that to a close game for the next few, just like how we blew out the Heat, it'll shrink the gap on the games. So we'll definitely have to play better. But I'm not – no panic button yet.
Well, we got to play – the games where James Harden isn't playing, we got to play well. We should have – with no James Harden for 99% of that game, we should have stolen that game. We should hopefully steal this
first quarter. The first quarter, we looked awesome.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it, we looked terrible.
Yeah.
What's up, Alex, Kevin, Ziggy? How we doing today? Renee as well. Welcome. Today on the live stream, we will be looking at top trenders in the industry over the past week, month, 3 months, whatever, year through SlabStoxPro. We are like dangerously close to sending out access invites to everyone that is pre-registered for the SlabStoxPro platform. So if you go to slabstocks.com, and I'll show you right now, I'm going to show you how to pre-register this second to make sure that you are pre-registered so that when we send out these invites, y'all will get an invite and y'all can join. Nate, can you see this tab?
Yeah.
So if you go to slabstocks.com, you hit SlabStoxPro at the very top, and you scroll down the page. You don't chat with us. You scroll down the page. You will see. Well, you can read up on it if you want to, which you probably should, I guess, if you want to see what you're signing up for. Or you can watch us this video to see what you're signing up for. Put in your email at the bottom, click pre-register, and we will be on our way, and you all will be pre-registered. But let's transition now into – can you see this now?
No.
You can't see
the dashboard? Register from SlabStoxPro.
Okay. All right. Let me come back. I haven't done this Chrome share tab thing yet on the whatchamacallit, the StreamYard. There we go. Now you can see it, right?
Hey-oh, there it is.
All right, everyone. We're looking at the dashboard here, and this is the Sam Dunk's dashboard for his episode for tomorrow. It's a little preview on what he's talking about. But today we're going to spend our time on the Trenders tab, which we haven't really previewed yet here on YouTube. We put up a little preview post on Instagram. This will take a second to load right now because we are in the midst of just finishing up the last bugs to optimize the page to load quickly. There's a lot of data that loads to this page, a ton of different slabs. So just give this a second and we will start to see what we got. So here at the very top, these trenders might be reordered when we go live. So right now what it's displaying is the top trenders comparing a recent sale in the last 3 months to any sales prior, which I don't think we're going to stick with because this Kobe right here, it sold for $1,360 as a PSA 10 recently, but there probably wasn't a sale for, let's see, there wasn't a sale for 3 years. So how's it a top trend in the last 3 months, right? If there wasn't a sale for the last 3 years. So that will be redone. But for the process of today, we'll be looking at this page, and this is going to be annoying to go back each time. So I'm not going to go into any graphs for today. We're just going to look at the trenders and talk about different cards in the industry that are going up, going down. Nate, I actually can't see the chat when I do this right now, so maybe I'll pull up on my phone.
Well, so I can inspect the chat.
Well, yeah, so you're gonna have to keep good tabs on this to make sure that we're integrating people's discussions into here.
Will do. Rob, this is a website. We have plans for an app in the future, but for right now, website.
And also, it is very mobily optimized too. Very mobile optimized, or it'll work well mobily is what I'm trying to say. Like on your Safari, on your iPhone, or on your Google Chrome, on your Android. If you're like Nate, what a bum. But first, let's look at the basketball trenders. We're going to click View Top 100, and we're probably going to sort by the last month to get some new sales data in there rather than the last 3 months. Or actually, let's look at the last week, because in the last week, I know that there's been a lot of movement. We've been updating a lot of prices recently in the last week. So let's filter first by percent going up, and then we'll go by percent going down. So first up here, we have got Jason Tatum, Optic Lime green of 175 BGS 9.5. So this is one of those scenarios when we look at this and we say, oh, that is because there was not 2 sales in the last week. So many of these cards at the front here that are over 100% gain are for those reasons because they're so scarce. But here's another thing I want to point out is that it is a good learning lesson because when there are not a lot of sales on these given cards, new comps can be set by people not knowing how much it's supposed to be, right? Like if you have a base, if you have a silver, everyone knows what those are supposed to be worth. You know, not everyone knows what a Russell Westbrook PSA 9 orange refractor of 499 is supposed to be worth. So you can really capture a greater sale because that, or at least it also makes it look like it's not going down because the more we move down this page here and we get into these, I want to go by decreases actually because that, let me see here actually. I'm trying to figure out the best way to do this because we are experiencing also a gap that I just realized too. This might be short-sighted doing this episode today. I started to understand as I started to do this. But we'll roll with it. Let's just talk about some cards throughout these, and then we can sync this thing up as we go forward. This is actually something that is worth talking about. Luka Doncic, this is his 2019 Optic Black Velocity of 39 PSA 9. The reason why I want to talk about this card is because recently this card sold for $640 on June 6th, and back on February 20th, it was $626, but that carried over from February 28th at $585. This is the type of card that when a player plays really well, it goes up in value because the supply is so low at, there's only 39 Black Velocities, PSA 9s, and Luka dominated the playoff series against the
Clippers.
But I want to show you what happens when you have a very high supply card. This is what happens when you have a card that's super high in supply, and even if they play well, down. I mean, you see it's up, down, $50 here and there, but just keeps going down. And even most recently, after his amazing series, just 940 all the way down to 840. And Nate, where do you expect this to be middle of the summer?
Luka? Oh, it's got to keep trending down until maybe a month, 2 months before the season.
Well, even this specific card, what do you think the floor is?
Oh, $600.
$600. Nate says the floor is. That's another 240% or $240 drop from here.
I mean, that might be a bit drastic, but you get my point. I don't think the floor is 843.
Nate, I don't think that's a bit drastic. Looking back on April 12th, 1,300.
So it'd have to be half price.
I'll blow it up so people can see it.
1,300. Aaron, quick question for you from Michael. Looks cool. Yes, sir. What does it cost?
Oh, absolutely free, my man. Absolutely free. This entire platform is going to be free to use. It will be all synced up when we go live, so no worries on that. If you're going to pre-register, be sure to do so right now for the beta access, and it will have a couple caveats when you're using beta. It's not going to be the fully launched product when you go public with it, but there's going to be quite a few people using it, which will be really cool.
There we go. Free 99, as the kids say.
Free 99. This is just crazy. Last 6 months has just been straight down on the card. And even if, I don't know if y'all remember, in here in February, like end of January, end of February was when like the market got insanely hot for like Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, all those guys. Luka is only trended down here, and I don't think it's because it's Luka. It's because of this card, and this kind of carries over from last week. Cards that have 18,000 pop, PSA 10, and over 30,000 total. Who's going to buy it? How many buyers are going to be? That's a major concern. Major concern.
Kevin is still a lot higher than the $75 he sold all his for.
Yeah. Whoa. Maybe like the one or two people in the chat that would be like, oh man, I wish I still had that.
Yeah.
That's fine.
That's a tough one.
This would probably be a more useful use of our time would be going down here and let's use the stocks ticker board because it's going to show us stuff that's sold recently on eBay, and we're going to get good numbers here, I hope, to share. Let's talk about Jordan, Nate.
I like it.
Jordan. And the glitch is back. Let's not talk. Oh, here we go. We'll talk about Jordan from 6'6" to 6'7". A PSA 9 or PSA 10 rose by 14 That's terrible math. No, it wasn't. $15.
He's been hitting well. I don't know what else to say about it besides the fact that Jordan's a stud. Him, Soto, Tatis, and Vlad were all in the same international signing period.
Is that the best international signing period ever?
Dude. Of course. Of course.
I had to prompt the question.
Vlad was like 3-point-something million. Jordan was $2 million. Tatis was like $750,000 or something like that. And who was the last guy? Soto was like 1.5, or maybe I flipped around Soto and Tatis. I don't remember, but
yeah,
insane value there.
Now, question. Here's actually something I want to talk about today. Something I really want to talk about today is what is the bottom point to where PSA slabs of base cards become viable for people with super low budgets to buy into the card market to try to play a little flip game? Is there any realistic point? Because if you look at Jordan right now, $40. He was like 28 a day ago, right? I look at Cam Johnson for the Suns. It's like $25. Nate, people that were buying those a year ago for maybe like $3 per and grading in between like $8 and I guess it'd be like $15 per. It's probably 15. They're breaking even right now if they get them back.
Yeah. I don't think there's a viable route towards grading Jordan anymore.
Yeah.
Not for whatever the prices are going to be when PSA opens back up. Well, $30, $35, whatever it's going to be.
That's
but
clear.
I do think, if they drop to the point where you're just paying for grading and not the card, I think that's the floor. So if they drop, say, to 25 right now, I think that would be the floor on some of these cards, as long as they're playing decently well. If you're just absolutely atrocious, shout out Keston Hira, you can drop all the way to 0. But if you're playing decently well, I think, the floor should be the cost to get it graded. And then I don't think you're going to see $50 PSA 10s unless they are absolutely unbelievable for like months straight anymore. But you could get, $25 to $35 in a couple months and sell out then.
Sure. So let me ask you this. Is the PSA 9 and 10 market going to be viable to invest in for people on a budget, let's say in 3 months? If these things all bottom up between like 10 and $30 for like decent young, studs who might grow in the future, is that something that people should be looking at spending money on if it's that cheap? Now, I'm not saying take like $5,000 and buy like 500 of them. I'm talking about people who have like $100, $150 budget. Is it going to be worth looking into again, even though the populations have now grown astronomically? When we were talking about $25 PSA 10s in the past with Acuna, pop of 1,000, and Acuna, one of the best young players in the game, was $25. Now he's 150, whatever, and it's not the same thing because now it's a pop 16,000.
Yeah,
but
or higher.
Is there a point now where it's going to be worth it for people on that budget to look into it?
Yeah, I think so. If you only have, there's a lot of people out there that can't afford a $300, well, not anymore, but couldn't afford a $300 Tatis, right? Shout out to Tatis being like, I don't know, $175 probably right now. I haven't checked in a while though. And still there's going to be people that can't afford a $175 Tatis base. So why not go to, if you still want a PSA 10 or a PSA 9, if you want a graded card and you're not going to be buying a raw Topps Chrome Prism for $30 or a Topps Chrome X-Fractor for 50 or whatever, you can turn to base and you can still get your favorite guys. And, the $300 a base card was absurd anyways.
Right.
There's not that many people that like it, but I do think there's plenty of people that are in the small money game that just can't afford a $300 card but would like to buy a Jordan not that Jordan is $300, but that would like to buy it, that all of a sudden this market can open up a little bit again. And you're never going to see, I doubt you're ever going to see $300 base flagship PSA 10s, but there's no reason you can't take a $25 card and move it to $40 after a good year. And $4 off of that for eBay fees or whatever, and another 2% off of that, and you walk away with $10.
And let's be honest, to put it in perspective, that's what it was for the longest time. you're spending $15 and you're hoping to get 20. You're hoping to get 25. You weren't spending $15 hoping to get 100 off that same card.
Yeah. And I would just like to point out, there's a lot of Bowman talk on the side. For the people that are lacking in money but still want to be in this, most of the time I'm right there with you, and Aaron's been there, and everyone that's ever collected cards in their lives, if you have other bills, you've definitely been there. Bowman prospects are the way to go. I bought a Aaron Ashby Gold Wave auto
Shimmer
middle of winter for $30, right? And just sold it for $55. So many people can pay $30 for actually a pretty good auto, right? If they like the guy, and then you watch him explode a little bit and you sell.
Nate's got a great point. Back before I was, fortunate enough to be doing some of this high-end soccer stuff, I was buying Corbin Burns base autos for $2, blue autos for 10, orange for 20, 50, whatever it was. And I've recently done pretty well selling those 2 years later. I know it's 2 years later, but those are the type of bets that you have to be making when the market becomes more competitive. Not the bet on this entire market segment gaining insane demand, right? Like, it's like you got to make those more educated bets that you do your research and find those guys that might be undervalued based on their future projection.
Yeah, and a lot of time you don't even need to step outside of your home ball club, right? You're a Chelsea fan. I'm sure there's like Chelsea guys that you went after that you've made money on, right? We're both Brewers fans. You talk about Corbin Burns. I've made money on Aaron Ashby that you may have heard of before the season started. You may not have. I made money on Tyrone Taylor just because his Topps Chrome stuff and Sapphire stuff was super, super, super cheap. And I was like, well, if he gets a little bit of playing time and has like a 2-home run game, I can sell. What did he do the other day?
2-home run game.
He had a 2-home run game. All of my cards sold on ComC. I made like $5, and not a ton, but when I put $11 in, you make $5. It's pretty good.
And it just multiplies on top of each other, right?
No, that was like total.
No, I'm just saying it multiplies. So you'll take that 15 and then maybe you'll get something else.
Yes. So it's one of those things. And I get it. Your team, Michael says the Phillies stink. It's hard to make money off of them. Yes. The Brewers are in the fortunate position of being good. And like, if you would have bought Freddie Peralta, you'd have made huge money. If you'd have bought Corbin Burns, you'd have made huge money. If you'd have bought Aaron Ashby or Brandon Woodruff, you'd have made huge money. If you'd have bought Keston Hero, you would have lost huge money. Or there's always guys in every system. Have you seen Joe Gray? Do you know who Joe Gray is, Aaron?
Yeah, I've heard the name.
He's a former Brewers pick. I don't remember what round, but 2 straight years of being terrible. Rookie ball, nothing over a 700 OPS in rookie ball, 2 straight years. 2020, COVID happens, comes out to 2021, and now he has 1,000 OPS, OPS, right? It's like 1,063. And he has 8 doubles, 2 triples, and 10 home runs on the year. Despite the fact that A-ball started after the majors, and yet he has 10 home runs already. And to this point in his career, through 2 years in rookie ball, I think he had a combined 5 home runs. And, his prices have gone up, and there's so many guys like that all over the place. Just on the Brewers, I could list like 6, 7 guys that have gone up in price just on the Brewers, and they all would have started $1, $2, $3 before the season.
And that doesn't count for just baseball too. Like if you were a huge Bucks fan, now I'm using another Milwaukee team for an example, and you bought Dante DiVincenzo when he was a rookie because you're like, oh, I like Dante, I can collect him, but also pick out some nice cards maybe as an investment. His stuff is definitely up since he started, which is great to see. Let me actually have the chart right here. I know I'm kind of stealing Sam's thunder for tomorrow. Sorry, Sam. Everyone make sure to still watch Sam Dunks' video. But if you look at I know it's down in the recent going just based on the basketball market. But if you're Bucks fan back in 2019 and you're grabbing Dante at 1550 for silver PSA 10, obviously the market is way lower than less graded cards, all that stuff. That thing went up to 250 and now it's back down to 53. But now might be a good time for you fans of teams, different teams, to go back and look at those players that you might be able to cash or to get cards of again.
Yeah. And you don't need to dive into, sometimes it can be overwhelming being like, I have to follow all of these minor league teams, or I have to follow all these NBA teams, whereas you can just follow your favorite team and try to find those prospects that you really believe in, that you think are going to blow up. And when they do, people that follow every team are going to start taking notice. Guys outside of the Brewers system would not have known who Aaron Ashby was until Aaron Ashby started blowing up in spring training. Whereas I can use my Brewers fandom to be like, yeah, I really like Aaron Ashby and I really like the Brewers, so I'm going to buy. And it goes from there. And Chris Sutton says, 2 years ago when I was struggling, I found a player who went undrafted, but I believed in him. I spent $400 on over 100 of his cards, all autos and numbers cards. He is a starter now and worth tens of thousands.
I must know who that player is. He didn't say, right?
He did not say. But he said a mixture of luck, following your gut, and putting in work pays off. And that's the big thing is, so obviously a lot of it is luck on our end because we are not the ones swinging the bat, shooting the basketball, or putting in the hard work. We're just having confidence in somebody else, somebody else's work ethic and ability.
Right. All right. I want to pull up, Nate, you want to pull up that comment there from Michael? Will you guys talk about the Holland sale at all tonight? I was wondering if that may impact his market at all, the $150,000 card. So here we are. This is the Erling Haaland non-auto Topps Chrome Orange Refractor of 25 BGS 10 Black Label, the highest grade you can receive from any grading company. But at the same time, there is a true question that I do ask, and I know that some might not agree, but what makes, this card, if you were to crack it out and send it back in, what are the odds it gets in our Black Label? Is it just a gimmick? Is it, unless you have a very certified structure that every single person can follow, which is almost impossible with human error involved, how could we ever guarantee this will get a Black Label again? It's the same thing talking about 10s versus 9s, but this is a little bit more different because there's a BGS 10, 3 10s, and a 9.5 sub, and then all 10s. And Nate, do you agree with me on that point to start?
Yeah, I would. I mean, if you can find PSA 5s getting cracked and sent back in and turning into PSA 9s, if you can find PSA 9s turning into PSA 10s or BGS 9s turning into PSA 10s, there's no reason to think that you could crack this card and get a BGS 10 Black Label ever again.
Exactly. So that's the first thing for me. The second thing is, I think the bigger discussion here is this card sold for 150 grand through Golden like 2 nights ago or last night. The bigger question is the auto PSA 10 25 sold for like 125K. What was that? 3 months ago now. So to me, I'd way rather have the autograph. I know it's a sticker, but there's rarely on-card autos in soccer. I'd way rather have the autograph PSA 10 versus a BGS 10 non-auto Black Label. And as much as this might be does this help out Holland's soccer card market? Sometimes I know that we talked about that at the start, like a while back when there weren't that many people involved in sports cards, like, a big sale really ignites this certain market aspect. I'm not sure if we're at that point right now with the way that the market is in sports cards. Like so many people know about sports cards, know the market dynamics. Just because this Holland sells for 150K, it doesn't mean everyone's going to go run and buy every single other Holland card. I think the bigger discussion here is, would you rather have supposedly the premium grade BGS 10 Black Label or an auto PSA 10? Nate?
Well, here's the thing for me. Outside of Bowman Chrome autos, right? They're on card. They're the first. It's spectacular. I think I prefer Topps Chrome cards without the autos.
That's a fair point. I mean, I can also pull up the autograph of this card, which you will see the sticker runs right across the card.
Yeah. So for me personally, if somebody gave me the option between a Topps Chrome, now this is a drastic price difference, but a Topps Chrome refractor, let's make it a numbered card. If somebody gave me a difference between a Topps Chrome purple Vlad Guerrero and a Topps Chrome auto Vlad Guerrero, I mean, I'd probably still go with the auto, but part of me just likes the non-auto better.
Right. So here's the non-auto. Here's the auto.
Okay.
Non-auto. Auto. Does it sound like you're at the eye doctor? I know you've never been there, but
question: is this just a bad scan, or is the whole card specifically lighter for the auto version?
no, it's a bad scan. This one, it looks like that there's some light exposure coming in on it. This one looks like that there's no exposure coming in.
Just making sure they didn't like lighten up the entire card like they lighten up the auto area. I gotta say, I like the non-auto. I think I like the non-auto.
Interesting. Man, that lightness looks. Do you know what, Nate? I said bad scan.
You agree with me?
I'm taking it back. The more I like look into it, dude, they totally discolored it, the lower part of his body. I'm like 99% sure now.
Well, it doesn't look great. So,
wait, let's look at this. There's one listed on eBay. See if the scan shows up different. It's for sure lighter. I have switched my stance. I like the auto on the card. This one is off the sticker though, but the coloring is way better on the non-auto.
Yeah,
interesting.
Also, I think the non-auto just is like a pure card. Nothing added to it. If it was an on-card auto, I still would probably want the non-auto, but it's a closer conversation for me than a sticker auto.
Sure.
The only time I'm buying a sticker auto is if it's a person I want to personally collect and I just don't care.
Yeah, and for me, it depends on the set too. Like I'll pick up the Contenders Cracked Ice mount if it's a sticker, but that's only because there's no on card for soccer really. I have the impeccable auto of him, but you get what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I will talk really briefly here about what Eduardo has brought up. Anyone know if they commented on when they will be rolling out invites for SlabStoxPro, or are they not sure? I can't give an exact date. That is the hope. Please don't hold me to it, but I want to at least provide a little bit of insight just because I know people are wondering. By the end of this week is the hope. So please go to SlabStox.com, click SlabStoxPro, throw in that email address at the bottom of the screen, and you should be receiving an invite at the end of this week, early next week, to get onto SlabStoxPro for the initial group. Thank you everyone who has pre-registered so far. Thank you everyone for that. That will be using SlabStoxPro. I know we ran a couple technical difficulties today, but all that will be cleaned up by the time you get on there. Don't worry about that. And I'm very excited for it to come. I know it Nate is too. It's been a lot of hard work over the past year or so. A lot of hard work. Insane amount.
Yes, right. It has.
And that was just a little preview of the Trenders page that I already went to and then went out of now. But Joel Embiid, 1,625. Wait. This is another really good conversation here. Joel Embiid, BGS 9.5 red, auctioned off for $1,626 the other day. A PSA 10 silver and a select PSA 10 silver the select PSA 10 used to be worth like around $1,000. Now the Prism Silver PSA 10 is worth like over like $2,500, almost $3,000. In what world are we not buying serial numbered red version, like Sixers colors, of Joel Embiid over the silver PSA 10? And guys, trust me, PSA, I would way rather grade with. Way more value is going to come out of it. But at what time does it not make sense to go and buy a 9.5 of a same as that card or a better card for way cheaper? Another example, Nate, Mason Mount, Sapphire Yellow out of 99, BGS 9.5 just sold for $930 last night. The PSA 10 sold like less than a week ago for like $2,800 or $2,500.
Okay.
Do you get that? Like, come on. Like, I totally get that PSA 10 have gained so much more value. They bring so much more value if you grade with them. BGS's communication has been terrible. But you can buy 3 cards for the price of 1.
Yeah, that's absurd. I mean, it's gone from the point of buying the card, like people have said, to buying the grade. And
But even if it's still a good grade.
Who cares about the grade? The grade should help a card, right? But it shouldn't make it 3 times as valuable as the same card in a quote unquote comparable grade.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. It's not like that the PSA 10 is like by far and away like better condition. I mean, sometimes they are, but same way both ways. Like sometimes PSA 10s can look bad. I've seen PSA 10s with very ding corners that they just missed. Maybe I've also seen PSA 8s that look like PSA 10s. So
even raw, should a PSA 10 of a red out of 49 be worth 3 raws, 4 raws, whatever it should be?
Right.
Like there's only 49 in the world. How much can the grade affect it?
Here's a better point. Kevin, I'm sorry. He just bought this card for me, so I don't mean to, throw some fuel in the fire. But I will add in that this will help you out too. So Christian Pulisic Color Blast. I just sold mine to Kevin for $900 yesterday. Because I had to, because I have a big grail coming in that you all will see soon. Very excited about the huge card.
Wonder what it is.
I don't know. I have no idea either. Okay, so I sold for $900. A 9.5 just sold like a day or two ago for $1,050. But right before the 9.5, a raw sold for like $1,100, and right after the raw sold for $1,100, PSA 10 sold for $3,300. So like Kevin, great buy because you're gonna send it to PSA. It might get a 10. I was gonna send it myself, and you'll be able to sell it for way more. I needed some money, but what in the world is going on between 9.5 for $1,050 and PSA 10 for $3,300?
You buy the 395s all day long.
Exactly. You get
and then try to cross one.
if you want to. I mean, it might
get your money back and keep
hold the other two.
Yeah.
Crazy. It's just wild to me. And I didn't even plan on bringing any of that up, but then I saw that Joel Embiid, so made me think to say something.
What's up, Magic?
Okay. Tomorrow at Slab Stocks Breaks, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, we are starting with some more soccer breaks. We have these 3 breaks left on SlabStoxPro.com/shop. I believe that there's also 3 spots left in Topps Chrome Sapphire for tomorrow. So excuse me. So check that out. SlabStoxPro.com/shop if you want to join or just watch on YouTube with me. I really appreciate anyone that comes in and watches and says hi, just like Magic just said. It's a really fun time. So maybe grab a couple packs, try to make it affordable for all budget levels, and hang out. 10 today we'll do a Q&A for quite some time because the other segment ran a little short. So we'll just go Q&A. If you have any question about the sports card industry, about the market, about our experiences, about something we may think, we will provide our opinions. And remember, there are opinions. Some people might think that the PSA 10 is worth 3 times as much and worth spending the money on. Honestly, in some cases, maybe it is. Just the ones I brought up, a little confusing to me. But also, like I said, questions, put them in the chat. We'll go at it. There's a huge opportunity with cracking SGC. What?
I have a question for you.
Oh, go
Sorry,
ahead.
I'm not looking at the screen. May 19th, a Shohei Ohtani blue PSA 10 Topps Chrome, not Topps Chrome Update, but Topps Chrome PSA 10 sold for $2,475. May 19th. We are now 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later. 2 weeks later. What do you think a red would go for, non-graded?
A red Shohei Ohtani?
Yeah, Topps Chrome, not Topps Chrome Update. Blue one for $24.75 PSA 10.
A blue one for $24.75?
Yeah, PSA 10.
Probably like 5 figures, 10K.
You think?
Yeah, over maybe. Why are you looking to buy it?
No, I'm being asked. He's actually in the thing, but a lot. I don't. It's so hard to tell off of other comps.
It's the non-auto Topps Chrome.
Yeah,
got you. Really quick from Global Sports Card Investor, you say SGC 9.5 cracking and resubbing is 80% success rate. Is that through SGC getting SGC 10s or through SGC getting PSA 10s? Because that is wild. Whatever the number is, please let us know.
Hey, I got 2 questions here. Can I just nail them out real quick? Did you click on that or did I?
I clicked on it.
I was hovering right above it, about to click, and I was like, "Did I do that?" Nate, thoughts on Series 2 rookie checklist? There's some nice names. There's Brian Hayes. There's Brent Rooker. There's Alex. there's a number of other guys that are like, pretty decent, and I'm having a trouble recalling them off the top of my head. So I'm sure there's another major guy in there that I'm just not remembering at all, and somebody else can help me out. But it's way stronger than Topps Update last year, and it's way stronger than Topps Series 2 from last year, but it's not nearly as strong as Topps Series 1 from this year or Topps Series 1 from last year. So do with that what you will. With grading and base prices dropping, I am no longer, you could say I'm no longer a fan of Topps Flagship. With how much they print and how impossibly hard it is to get golds and foils of like the top guys, and those are like the most predictable ones you could get. It's going to be real tough for people to make their money. And if you can't grade base, which you can't from PSA right now, and when you do grade base, if they are only going to be maximum $50 cards, there's just probably not much value there whatsoever. Aaron, would you agree?
Yeah. So are you saying buy singles, or are you saying look at Topps Chrome? Or
I'm saying if you want to get into Topps Flagship, don't buy boxes, don't buy hangers, don't buy gravity feed packs, don't buy blasters. I would go into I would do the whole and I wouldn't buy base either. Sometimes I'd be like, I'd just buy a bunch of base for cheap and see if you can get it from $1 to $5, but even that might be tough nowadays with how much they print. So
it's just so hard to move the needle.
Yeah, I would just focus on golds and foils on the resale market. And even if you don't get them graded, just hold on to those bad boys of your favorite guys.
Sure.
There was a second one, though. Oh.
Topps Finest, Nate.
I don't love it. I don't love it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to Rocky Mountain Baseball Cards that loves the, the secondary brands and stuff. The Topps Finest, the Bowman's Bests, the Stadium Clubs, they're just not for me. I just, there's so much you have to pay attention to, like in just the Topps Flagship, Topps Chrome, Bowman Chrome market, that adding on secondary cards of secondary brands of Topps is just not my thing I like to do.
Thoughts on the 90s soccer market? Edwin, I apologize. I don't have any because I don't know much about it. I don't buy in it. I don't research it. Maybe that's on me for not researching it, but it just isn't my thing. Anyone else who has thoughts, throw them in the chat to help out Edwin. Mosaic, La Liga, and Serie A wax worth the rip. No. No. The production quality of these things are so bad. I don't know if anyone's seen them. It looks like the two cards were rubbed together. Like on every single base in silver in the product that I've heard, I've seen at least with my own eyes, it looks bad. And even at that, you're ripping for a couple players in each set. Couple players. And those are not the sets to rip, like that. I'd say like shooting for a couple players, you might be disappointed. Question about Prism EPL boxes. They seem to be undervalued. What are your thoughts? I think that the first year, 2019, is pretty undervalued. Actually, I have a box chilling right there. The print run is just so low for that set. Lots of color, lots of numbered. This year, I'd say the young player crop is a bit better than 2019. 2019 had Foden, which really drives it and everything, and Pulisic's Chelsea card. But 2020, this year, between Greenwood, Saka, Billy Gilmore, Curtis Jones, Eze, I think is how you pronounce it, and then a couple other players, there's good young talent, but it's just more product produced, the way harder it is to move the needle. That's just the straight up honest truth. The more that they print fat packs, the more that they print mega boxes, the more that they print all these other configurations along with hobby, the harder it is to make the product go up in value.
Vlad Jr. is flirting with a triple crown. Why are his Topps cards not going off? So for starters, if you haven't been paying attention, Vlad Guerrero Jr. is killing it, leads the league in home runs, has 100 OPS, has 100 in OPS plus, which is 101% better than league average. It's like if you remember Bryce Harper's insanely good season from a number of years ago, he's hitting as well as Bryce Harper, basically. He's cut down on his ground ball rate by like 6%. He's raised his average exit velocity by multiple miles per hour. He's raised his hard hit percentage by multiple percentage points. Everything is looking good on the Vlad Guerrero front. I think the issue with people, and the same issue that you get with like a Byron Buxton, is, he's playing well, but nobody trusts him to not get injured. And so nobody wanted to, people weren't really putting money into him. Not that Vlad Guerrero gets injured. I do think people are questioning, his weight issues in the past, and maybe they're a little bit hesitant to put money into a guy that might show up to spring training with an extra 50 pounds next year. I think people have to see it for more than 2 months. And I think they'll probably have to see this type of production for more than this year. I think next year is when you're going to see the boost. I think next year, if he comes out hot in May, June, I think you are going to be seeing like Ronald Acuna, Juan Soto prices for like, not Juan Soto because he doesn't have a Topps Chrome Sapphire rookie, but like Ronald Acuna, Fernando Tatis, Topps Chrome Sapphire prices. We're talking, $3,000-$4,000 PSA 10s here instead of 15, 16, 1700.
Nice. Dude, he's been insane. I was looking at his stats, just unbelievable to think he's the amount of people that hated on him, Nate, just on a guy that's like 20, 21, that clearly you need to adjust to whatever you're doing. So talented, so awesome to see.
Dave, I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. He is playing his home games in a minor league stadium, but I would venture a guess that if you went and looked up his average home run distance, it's going to be past 400 feet, which means he's going to be hitting a home run out of, no matter where he hits it, he's going to be hitting a home run out of almost every park outside of a few center fields here or there that go up to like 420, like Comerica.
Nate, would his minor league stadium actually be smaller than like a very standard size major?
It's possible, yeah.
I was just curious.
I mean, and there's going to be minor league stadiums that are huge. It's just, I don't know the dimensions of Buffalo, but there is some potential there.
What do you think about buying the Jamal Murray dip? His select orange out of 60 PSA 10 rookie just sold for $530. That just seems way too cheap for a great young player on championship level team. So Jamal Murray is a stud. We all know that. Jamal Murray tore his ACL. We all know that. The problem I have is that, well, I love the buying the injury dip and then looking at the scarce cards on a lower cost than they were earlier. If they go deep this year and get into the finals or something without Jamal Murray, and MPJ is clearly their second best player, do they look to restructure that team and move Jamal Murray elsewhere? I mean, they've been better than when they had Murray, right? It's unlocked MPJ's game to another level, that's for sure. At least give him the opportunity to do it. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm not saying that obviously if he gets traded, he can be just as good elsewhere, but you do lose that championship level team potential probably, because if he is traded, there's going to need to be draft picks, and I don't know how many lower first round draft picks they'll take if he goes to like a good team or something.
And if you're the Nuggets, why would you want that?
Want what?
Low first round draft picks instead of Murray.
That's why I was saying that the championship team thing could be gone pretty soon here. If he is in fact traded. But I also don't know the current contract of his or anything, so I can't comment on that, but just thinking out loud. Do you think Prism releases will ever improve the centering, or Panini will ever improve the centering on Panini releases? I'll tell you what, I want to bring this up as a topic because I've got some new Topps Chrome Bundesliga autographs. I've seen a bunch of Formula One Sapphire color cards in front of me. Literally, these things were shipped to production in Italy, I heard. And all these cards have the same exact manufacturing error on the back, which is like an edge nick. Pretty big size. It's definitely like a PSA 8 type of deal. My question is, what happened to these companies to make production quality worse as they made more money? Like, in what world does that make sense? Let's charge more, let's print more, but let's make everything worse. Like, I don't know where that went wrong or what's happening with that, but it's a little, I'd say if I was like Topps or Panini, it's embarrassing. Like, and I don't want to be Mr. Negative, but it is embarrassing looking at some of those products and thinking, wow, did we put our best effort into that or this and that? Some of these cards have really bad, just standard condition flaws.
Hey, I actually have numbers here for Vlad Guerrero Jr. Can I steal this?
I guess. Do we really need to talk more about it? I'm just kidding. The home run thing is actually pretty interesting.
Yeah. So let me steal this for a second.
Nate is doing a pseudo digging corners now.
So can you see this?
Dude, it's so small. You'd have to zoom in a lot on the one thing you want.
Can you see that?
I mean, I can see it. But it's just small.
What if you extended your screen all the way?
No, but whatever. Just go.
I'm assuming people that are watching have extended their screens.
True.
So here you get his expected home runs. He's 18. His expected home runs would be 15.7. That's barely off his 18, which is pretty good. So the minor league park thing, and then you get, if he played, all of his games in this specific stadium, he'd have 17, 18, 17, 20 in Seattle, 15, 14, 18, 17, So the home ballpark thing here, he might actually have less if he played, a lot of his home runs in Buffalo were hit in
Toronto.
But 4 less, 14 is still a really big number, and you can keep going. Kansas City obviously is a huge detriment to most power hitters.
That is crazy.
You go along, you go, and that would be the case for everybody. You look up anybody on this list, and that would probably be the same case. Fernando Tatis, anybody like that. But you go along this list, and there's not a huge drop off in home runs and expected home runs to what he actually has.
Dude, that's an insane thing that's going on there is that Baseball Savant?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That was pretty wild there. I like that. Let's see. There's a lot of questions that came in this chat. Any soccer players to grab for when PSA opens up? Picked up Verts, Pelgi, and Mukoko. I have not heard of the middle one. I probably didn't even say it close to right. Anyone else you recommend, and do you think those are solid buys? Well, I like Florian Wirtz. I've got a couple Topps Chrome Orange Autos 25 that have that edge nick on the back I was talking about with Topps Chrome Bundesliga. Mukoko, nice, super young, would be worth getting graded, and same with Bellingham. I would key in on Topps Chrome Champions League from this year. They just released a checklist today, so go look that up if you haven't seen it yet. Lots of rookies in there. Musiala has his first Topps Chrome card in there because he didn't have Bundesliga. I know Ryan Gravenbach. I think that's how you say his name. The guy Nate's been talking about in past episodes. He's got his first Topps Chrome card in there. He plays for Ajax. And then there's also, I think Curtis Jones has a card in there. And then Mason Greenwood has his first Topps Chrome card also. Well, I have a Devonta Adams Bowman Chrome Prism. I don't even know how to say that. Something Fractor off 5 in the world. Would you take a black label over this card?
Depends on black label on what?
Yeah. On any card I own, would I take a black label over having that card? Probably. Even though I just said it was kind of gimmicky, I would take a black label on my best card and then sell it, and then buy a bunch of other cards.
Would you take a black label base Devonta Adams over a out of 5?
A Devonta Adams base?
Yeah.
Over an out of 5?
Yeah.
No?
Okay. Just making sure. Just making sure it wasn't any black label.
Jeez. Cracking the SGC 9.5s and sending them to PSA and getting 10s. My last cards were Prism SGA, which is a hard grade, and they got 10s. That is wild. So Global Sports Card Investor says that 80% of his SGC 9.5s got 10s from PSA. I don't know all of the, characteristics of each card, so it'd be interesting to see. But yeah, silvers are poorly graded from, or poorly produced of Shea from that year. I guess that actually he might have been talking about Mosaic La Liga, but yeah, silvers are awful for Mosaic La Liga too. CSG or SGC for first-time graders. Oh man, the grading industry has gotten so whack right now with PSA suspended, BGS suspended, CSG and SGC had some price increases, dropping them. I hear SGC is super fast and that they're doing well with getting their submissions out on time. But it only takes a couple eBay searches to look up and see what the card values are like. And if you don't hit an SGC 10, you are going to be losing money most of the time. If you get a 9.5, unless it's a major card you might make like $20 on, you're probably going to be losing money. So grading industry, very tough to navigate right now. I do believe it actually hurt the market a ton. Not having people think about in the back of their head, like, oh, I can buy this card for 10, grade it for 20, it'll be $100. And I know that logic does not apply anymore because now we're seeing prism-based PSA 10s from 2019 rookies are like $25. Cameron Johnson, PJ Washington, probably like $20 type of deal. In the past, you'd be like, oh, easy, $5 buy, $15 grade, $20 investment, $100. Well, that's when the pop was like, $250 or something. So even if it was still around right now, that logic still wouldn't apply, but it was there for a long time, and people ripping packs, it was there for. Now a lot of people have really curbed their buying with it not being there anymore.
Hey, Aaron, you want to see the quickest way to destroy all goodwill we have with the card community?
Not really.
Slab Stocks grading.
I was like, I really don't want to see that if you're being truthful.
Could you imagine?
Grading, let's go. I don't think that we would ever want to take that burden on.
You don't give somebody a PSA
an SX10,
an SXG10 or whatever, they'd be upset. And then if you get swamped with cards and you don't get them back for a month, they'd be upset.
A month, more like 2 years. I mean, how many cards are you and I going to grade together? Nate's out here dropping their cards and giving them sixes.
Ah, crap, Aaron. I dropped that one in the corner. That's a 6 now. Sorry.
Or you stick it in there and give it a 10. I've seen that before.
I bet that's why you find those cards with like dinged corners in PSA cases, and it's user error, and they're like, I'm going to give it a 10 anyways.
Yeah, that stuff is just wild. Question from Rob. Any thoughts on what cards will be hot at the National? So I think I mentioned this before, but I've given it some more thought. And I think that the National is not going to be this like, oh my gosh, Russell Wilson, everyone try to find them in every booth. I think it's going to be a lot of like, what do you like? What are you collecting / investing in? And you're going to go find it. I don't think there's going to be a major theme to the show. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Kevin Durant wins a championship for Brooklyn this year, which isn't going to happen because the Bucks are going to win 4 straight. And then everyone's trying to buy up his cards going into next season. Maybe Kyler Murray or maybe Ryan Tannehill cards are through the moon or through the roof because they just got Julio Jones. Whatever it is. I feel like it's going to be a lot of like dispersed thoughts and hotness, which is I think what we need. I don't think we want people like that one Dallas show when everyone was buying Kevin Durant was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. Everyone needed KD. Go to a booth. You got KD PSA 9s, you got KD PSA 10s. Like I just didn't really understand that because at that point you're just competing against everyone at the show.
Yeah. You would agree that it's kind of boring also walking around a show and just seeing everyone's Luka Doncic Prism PSA 10 stacks and Fernando Tatis Series 2 flagship PSA 10 stacks. It's just when everyone has the same cards, it gets boring. So it's kind of nice to have a guy with old cards and a guy with, Bowman Chrome and a woman with soccer and keep moving down the line. I don't like going around and seeing all the same cards at every single booth. It gets boring.
Kevin, I can see the pain in your voice saying something positive about SGC, Aaron, 100% with you. Yeah, people know I'm not sending my cards to SGC to get graded, but I have to say at least that they're making turnaround times right now. It's good positive. GV, good thoughts here. That checklist wasn't a confirmed checklist for Topps Chrome Champions League. I know GV is really plugged into the soccer card happenings as he does do a lot of breaking and whatnot. I'd wait for a confirmed checklist for Chrome. Good thoughts. I like it because for some reason I thought that there was going to be like a 200 card checklist this year for Topps Chrome Champions League, and that the one that people were talking about today that you say wasn't confirmed. That was only 100, I think, but we'll see. We'll see. Thoughts on Caden Clark? Do you think Topps now with his MLS club is worth it, or do you think when the Europe cards come, will that be his rookie? I think that the Europe cards are going to be way more sought after once he makes a transfer. I think MLS Topps has a place from this year, and people will definitely like look into them. But to me, it's like a pro debut for baseball. No one's people are buying Mike Trout's pro debut for baseball, the 2010 one or the 2010 looking set, but no one's chasing after that more than they are the update or the Bowman Chrome refractor at 175, number 175 or base 175. You know, it's kind of like a pro debut card I see. When will Topps Chrome be available on their website? I have no idea. I think that's supposed to be Friday is the release day. I don't know if they're going to post that the same day. I'm not sure. Topps they make no sense to me with their releases and stuff, so I don't even really try or pay attention.
Aaron, we got 2 minutes.
Oh yeah, we do. What do you got?
I have a 2017 Optic Patrick Mahomes black velocity, numbered 25, which is numbered 15 to 25, which is his jersey number. PSA 10. A raw one sold for $10K. Would you sell or hold, and how much? I don't know what you'd say, Aaron, but I definitely would hold. It's a gamble. Obviously, he's already won a Super Bowl, and it seems like he's going to win a bunch more. But, you know, we've seen guys that we thought we were going to do really well, like Andrew Luck, end up retiring early. And we've seen other guys get injured and, you know, circumstances change. Tyreek Hill leaves in free agency or anything like that, and all of a sudden he doesn't have the same wide receivers, and maybe he has a couple of years where he just makes it to the playoffs and not to the Super Bowl. Really hard to beat Tom Brady. That being said, if I was going to bet on anybody to become the next Tom Brady, it would be Patrick Mahomes, and for that reason, I would definitely hold.
Huge card, though. Huge card. Hottest player at the National will be Luis Matos.
I hope so, for the sake of my BGS 9.5.
959.
959. Caveat there.
The Euro starts this Friday. Do you expect to see a big bump in the soccer card market? I think that we are finally getting to the point. We might see this in the future as more people jump into cards and whatnot. I think we're to the point now to where performance and legacy really determines prices, which is what it was in the past and which is what I think needs to be to build a sustainable long-term market. I don't see the Euro making the entire soccer card market, no matter what player it is, no matter if he's really good or if he's, you know, kind of prospect on the rise. I don't really see it catapulting it. What I do see is a lot of people watching, the players, a lot of people making bets on these players based on how they're playing, based on how they're going to play in club play next year. It's going to matter a lot. It's going to get a lot of viewers in. It's going to make a lot of cards go up in value, I believe. But I don't think it's going to be this one whole, oh, you know, this soccer card here. They all go up 3 times in value. Not going to happen. But I do think that's going to be very good for the market and the health of people buying based on prospecting and performances. Because, like, you know, Nate and I are here since for a long time. I've been doing this since I was 10, but been doing Slab Stocks content since, like, I don't know, 3 years ago now. And when we talked in the past, we're talking based on performance every time. It did not get to being talked about as a demand thing until the last like year and a half or 2 years, when you would literally be like, this card's getting a ton of demand, so it's going up in value. Like, it doesn't matter because De'Aaron Fox hasn't played any better today versus yesterday versus a month ago. It's just because more people are buying it. You know, like, that still is going to be a part of the market, but it's going to be less of a part of the market, I think, going forward. All right, one more here. Are you gentlemen going to the Capital City Card Convention in Des Moines, July 23rd or 25th? Over 125 dealers, big venue, biggest in the state of Iowa. I did hear about that. It is right before the Nationals, so I am not betting on it, but maybe we'll look into it later. Thank you also for the $5 super chat. It means a lot, Michael. Nate, you want to take one more?
Sure, we can talk about Miguel Vargas. He is a third baseman, first baseman, Dodgers system. He's a Cuban. So there's that. He has been killing it, but I'm kind of wishy-washy. On Dodgers right now. It never seems. I'm like, they should go high because they're the Dodgers and there's a ton of fans, and then it never seems like the prices go as high as I'm expecting. Whereas you can see a guy like Gunnar. I said Gunnar Hoglund last time, but that's a pitcher for Ole Miss. Gunnar Henderson from the Orioles go from $80 to $200 in a couple months. He went from $80 like right as the season started to $200 like today. And you see that happening, and I just don't feel like you see that all the time with Dodgers players. So I don't know. He is really good though.
Hey, Chris, that is too nice of you. Thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate that. And of course, that's what we're here to do, help you all out, try and answer some questions, and just give our best take of the market that we can. Not always right, not always wrong, hopefully, but do like interacting with you all and, discussing this all.
Oh, 1 second. I think this is when I said Cuban, and he thinks I said cute one, but I most definitely said Cuban with a B.
Mike Cuban? Maybe he's talking about, I think they saw a puck in the corner there when he walked by.
Oh.
But I don't think that was actually about, probably when you said Cuban, I was just messing around. Sorry, last thing here is, what effect in the market do you think Copa America being canceled could have the market both long and short term? That's not happening, right? I'm pretty sure it got moved to Brazil, which then they said that they don't want to host because of not hosting like an entertainment event during COVID when people were struggling in Brazil. But isn't it still going to get moved probably somewhere else and maybe to America to be played? We'll see. Or unless it's already been flat out canceled, which would kind of stink for the Brazilians and whatnot. Messi. Nate is standing on the on-deck circle for the Slab Stocks Youth League. That's funny.
Oh, man, I'd be hitting home runs off of 12-year-olds nowadays. Actually, I hit home runs off of 12-year-olds back then, too. Aaron, did you ever hit a home run? Loser.
Heck no, I played T-ball and that was it. Actually, no, I did play the pitching machine a little bit. Then I played softball like 2 years ago, which I did not hit a home run in. I'm more of a contact hitter than a power hitter. I do not get much power, but I do make contact.
Trace Cards texted me and said, cute one, and with laughing emojis.
Trees?
No, Shorty's cards.
Oh, these are trees. All right. I think that's going to be it for today's show. Thank you, everyone, for watching today. Thank you all for commenting. Thank you all for tossing in some chats. Please go to SlabStox.com, hit that SlabStoxPro tab, put in your email at the bottom of the page. You will be one of the first ones, the first group of people that will get access to the website, aside from us and aside from a couple very small group of beta testers that were testing for us and giving us some feedback. But do it now before it's too late, because once we send it out, I think that you'll have to wait until public launch if you don't do it before then. So please do that. We appreciate it a lot. Please, Bucks win tonight. Please.
Big Bucks win tonight.
Please. We really
guaranteed. If the Bucks don't win tonight, I will
not come to next week's live stream. Nate's going to get, I'm just messing around. He will be there.
I won't be there. I will not. Yeah, I will not. I will come to next week's live stream, and I will be set up in a kitchen cooking, and you guys will have to watch me cook the entire time.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. All right, everyone. Thank you all for the show, or thank you all for watching. Rob said good show, and I said show when I read it. Does that ever happen to you where you type something that you're talking about? You did? No? I talk sometimes when I'm typing, and I'm typing like whatever I'm saying.
All right.
Either way, thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next week.